Alright guys, today we're going to be watching the dark side of influencers. This is some of the most disturbing things that influencers have got exposed for or been involved in on the entire internet. So you guys are going to make sure to watch till the end because this is going to get really bad. But if you guys are new here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to be streaming either every day or every other day, depends. But I got new videos coming out every single day, so don't miss out. Make sure you guys subscribe. But all right, let's jump right into this.
From a YouTuber losing everything when he changed for the better to another's disturbing getting leaked. This is the most disturbing influencers that ruined their lives iceberg. Let's start at the tip. Level 1. David. In May 2024, Celeste Rivas was reported missing. The 13-year-old had a very complicated home life and was known to run away from home, but this time she would not return. A little more than a year later, on September 8, 2025, 68 miles away, an abandoned Tesla was taken to a tow yard. Several people noted a foul odor coming from the trunk and called the police. It was then that they made a horrific discovery.
Breaking news now. The body of a young girl found in the trunk of a Tesla has been identified.
Celeste's dismembered remains were found. The details about how she died are still a mystery, but the car was found to be registered to American musician David Anthony Burke, more popularly known by his stage name, David. When the news broke, the initial thought was that he had nothing to do with it. Then, disturbing details started to emerge. Her family said when she last spoke to them she was going to see a movie with David. Not just that, sources say they were in a relationship, which wasn't exactly a secret among her friends. And you heard that right, a 13-year-old girl and a 20-year-old man. Online sleuths uncovered more disturbing online activity between David and Celeste. Photos and messages on his social media hinted at a relationship that was, to put it mildly, pretty concerning. Celeste's mother even mentioned that her daughter had a boyfriend named David and that the two shared a tattoo. Accusations started to fly. And let's not forget about David's music. There are instances where he had her name in his songs. Many are now rethinking the meaning behind the lyric of his song, Here With Me, which goes, I don't care how long it takes, as long as I'm with you, I've got a smile on my face. Then there's his hit song Romantic Homicide, which has lyrics that make you wonder if he was channeling something dark and twisted. The song dropped right around Rivis's birthday, which feels like a spooky coincidence. But the suspicions about him aren't just gossip. His career is now hanging by a thread and brands are dropping him faster than you can say investigation. David also has canceled upcoming shows. As this chilling saga unfolds, it's hard not to feel a shiver down your spine. What went down between David and Celeste? We're all just waiting to find out. Before we jump into the
See, even if he didn't actually do the crime, he still did the crime. You cannot be 20 years old dating a 13-year-old girl thinking everything's, all sweet rainbows and peaches. Like that's just gross, bro. Like that's very simple terms. Obviously it's disgusting. Like you should not be doing that. Like it's just this has become so normal. It's kind of hard to express how deeply strange that is. But, there's just more cases of people coming out and, it's just getting bad. But what's up? Thank you everyone in the stream. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a good day today. This is going to be some of the creepiest, most disturbing stuff that has come out about these influencers. So, make sure you guys stay till the end because it's going to get bad. But yeah, let's jump right into it.
The next entry of our disturbing iceberg, I want to bring up something equally unsettling that hangs over all of us. Sam Altman recently said ChatGPT will get to know you over your life. Think about that. It'll have access to our every late-night search, private venting session, or vulnerable moment that could be cataloged and sold to corporations. Even Altman admitted on Theo Von's podcast that people should demand privacy clarity before relying on these tools. And with talk of tying ChatGPT accounts to government IDs, the idea of constant tracking becomes harder to ignore. This is exactly why I use today's sponsor, Venice.ai. The generative AI chatbot was found for tools, steps for summary, multimodal replies.
We just got baited. I thought this was going to be a whole like creepy controversy story. This was literally an ad, bro.
Reasoning, smudge of North Korean soldiers and generate ship elsewhere, or is known as Arya. In January 2018, YouTuber Arya Masala, also known as It's Arya, got everyone talking with his latest prank video, and not in a good way.
What's going on, guys? Today, yeah, I'm back, and I'm back with my cup. I'm gonna be throwing water on people's faces, yeah? Peace!
The prank? Throwing water in the face of unsuspecting people on the streets of London. Sounds harmless, right? Well, not quite. Run. Just as Masala launched his prank, real-life reports of acid attacks were making headlines across the UK, with reports of over 400 incidents in just 6 months. Tensions were high, and the public was on edge. It wasn't exactly the best time to be tossing liquids in strangers' faces, but Masala didn't let that stop him. In fact, given the tendency of prank YouTubers, I'd be willing to bet this is what gave him the idea in the first place.
I heard about this a long time ago. I don't know if any of y'all know about this, but were people really running around the streets just throwing acid in people's faces? Like, that to me back then sounded so like crazy, because the world hadn't really gotten that crazy yet. Like, there was like occasional, you know, outbreaks of crime, but like this, when I heard this, I was like, yo, that is terrifying. Like, I couldn't even go outside if that was the case. But, you know, y'all let me know, because yeah.
The prank fell flat with his viewers. Some speculated that it was all an act, but others were more concerned that his prank could easily be mistaken for a real acid attack. The Metropolitan Police agreed with them and issued warnings about the dangers of such pranks, emphasizing that causing alarm to the public could lead to serious consequences. Despite the backlash, Masala stood his ground, insisting that he never intended to mimic acid attacks.
My video throwing water on people's faces went viral. All of the media companies literally slandering my name for literally a prank that was meant to be funny. And
he offered a half-hearted apology to anyone who was offended, then announced he'd keep making his wild pranks. This plan hit a snag when his original YouTube channel was taken down for violating community guidelines. But he didn't back down and launched a new channel, determined to keep his quirky brand of pranking alive. How's that going for him? Well, in 6 years, he's gathered just over 1,000 followers, and his last video was 2 years back. Turns out there is such a thing as going too far after all. I guess the joke was on him. Ravana. Imagine building an audience based on a particular lifestyle, then fans catch you red-handed doing the opposite. That's exactly what happened to YouTuber Ravana. Known offline as Giovanna Mendoza, the 28-year-old influencer promoted a raw, fruit and vegetable-based diet to 1.3 million Instagram followers and 700,000 on YouTube. She sold ebooks, motivational videos, and a $99 weight loss and detox kit through her website. All of them included recipes for following her raw, vegan, gluten-free, oil-free, soy-free diet, not eating any animal protein, and going on water fasts. It turned out Giovanna's idea of support was to lie to her fans. The truth finally got out in 2019 after a vlogger shared a brief video on her Instagram story. This barely 10-second video marked the end of Ravana's success in selling veganism. It captured Ravana with a plate in front of her attempting to hide what was on it. But it was too late. Rumors began to swirl. Fans were convinced there was something fishy going on, and it had something to do with the fish on her plate. In a 33-minute video she has since made private, Giovanna did a tell-all, and it was a doozy.
I'm really sorry how you had to find out. I know that so many of you trust me, and you probably feel deceived and lied to, and you're in your whole right to feel that. And for that, I ask for forgiveness. I'm human.
For some years, Yovanna had been having health problems brought on by her vegan diet that she did not share with her followers. She was not getting her period, she was anemic, and had thyroid issues. She ended up having small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, and the doctor's orders were to start putting in animal products in her diet. She claimed she was still experimenting to see if it worked, and that was why she hadn't come clean, but followers, vegans, and anti-vegans alike were not buying any of it. They called her out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for lying about her vegan lifestyle to...
See, like, this one is kind of tricky. Like, I'm not justifying anything she did at all, because if she's promoting something that leads people to having health problems, then, you know, that's just not right by any means. But, like, on the other side, she is promoting a healthy lifestyle. That's, like, the only, like, good thing I could take out of this. Like, nowadays, people don't really care about what they eat or anything like that. So, having someone out there that kind of pushes people and motivates people is good. But trying to sell a lifestyle that's going to lead to health problems is not right at all. And especially lying about it, she wasn't even following her own thing because it was causing her problems. So that's where, you know, I have the issue. But yeah, this is just weird.
Cash in. And that pretty much put a nail in the coffin for Yovanna's days as an influencer. Jeffree Star uses racist slurs. One of the most popular YouTube personalities of all time is Jeffree Star. He's a makeup artist turned social media personality who initially gained fame in the mid-2000s as a musician. When his music career stalled, he went into cosmetics and racked up millions of followers as he dished out makeup tutorials, beauty reviews, and glimpses into his lifestyle. But it's not all glam and glitter. Star's career is riddled with controversies that keep everyone talking, and not always in a good way. Like the time he groped a stranger back in 2009, despite having called out others for doing the same to him. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. He's also notorious for going after customers who post negative reviews about his products, even though he's given similar criticisms about other products himself.
I picked it up just to look at myself. It fell out and broke into thousands of pieces. And it's still falling out.
But all of this pales in comparison to the many, many times he was captured making racist slurs in videos shared to MySpace. As he became well known as a fashion entrepreneur, more of these videos began to surface, and there was a lot of backlash against his brand. In 2017, he put out a video apologizing for his past.
In these videos, I say some really disgusting, vile, nasty, and embarrassing things. I have always been outspoken. I am, someone that looks different, and I realize that with all of that is going to come the negative.
In recent years, Star's relationship with fellow beauty gurus has been an entire soap opera on its own. He once developed public friendships with fellow popular beauty gurus Laura Lee, Manny Gutierrez, Gabrielle Zamora, and Nikita Dragon. They would appear on each other's channels, and they even promoted Jeffree's makeup line, but sometime later there was a public falling out when Jeffree tweeted that Laura's soul was pure evil. The breakaway group formed a clique on their own and would often throw shade at Star. But things really started heating up when popular YouTuber Shane Dawson released a 4-part YouTube documentary on Jeffree's life. At one point, Jeffree talked about his old friends being backstabbers. A week later, Zamora tweeted a cheeky photo of the 4 of them with a caption that made it pretty clear who they were referring to. This was followed by several tweets calling out Star's racist days on MySpace. But you know what they say about throwing stones in glass houses. It wasn't long before a cascade of old cringy tweets from Lee, Zamora, and Gutierrez began to surface, which had blatantly racist and derogatory language. The backlash hit hard, and they began to lose subscribers in their thousands as they scrambled to post tearful apology videos and explain themselves.
I didn't know that picture was going to be taken out of context. People have called my mother and threatened to kill her. They've gotten her phone number. They attacked a child. My 14-year-old niece attacked her. And I asked you guys, please just let this be me.
Lee got hit the worst. Apart from losing subscribers, her products were pulled away from many makeup stores. Meanwhile, Starr's response to the drama only won him more followers. But Starr wouldn't stay in the public's good graces long. In 2019, he made an inappropriate tweet to a teenage boy. It also got out that in 2005, he had released a lipstick brand called Lipstick Nazi. Like that wasn't bad enough, he got interviewed by Chris Hansen about allegations against Davi Vanity, a former collaborator he had once tweeted about but still worked with.
Okay, like at first I was just gonna say these are a bunch of grown people just acting like they're still in high school. But now, bro, is Diddy? Yeah, okay, now this is getting a whole lot worse now. Okay, I thought this was just some small little drama, but bro got an interview from the man himself, Chris Hansen. It's over, bro. It's actually over. That's like, bro, nah, that's bad.
Also got mixed up in a lot of controversies. After that, Starr's presence on YouTube just kinda fizzled out. Level 2. Dream controversy. Gaming sensation Dream was famed for his Minecraft videos so epic that he had gathered up to 31 million subscribers, all while sporting a smiley face mask. Many were desperate to know exactly who was under the mask, and in October 2022, he decided to show his face after years of staying incognito. 1.2 million viewers were on his live stream to see it happen. The 23-year-old creator, whose real name is Clay, went on to explain why he had done it. But things didn't go as planned. When the mask came off, the response he got wasn't quite what he had expected. Even though Dream racked up 50 million views, he was hit with a wave of harsh comments making fun of his appearance. The words, "he's ugly," even trended online. But this was the least of his problems. A day after the face reveal, Twitter user Oxyclean alleged that Dream had groomed her when she was 17 and included a screen recording of various Twitter DMs allegedly between her and Dream. The hashtag #DreamIsAFreak started to trend. Dream took to Twitter and denied doing anything inappropriate with her, but it did little to dissuade the audience. Following his face reveal fail, Dream dropped a cinematic video titled "Bye from Dream," where he joked with friends about the backlash and showcased a new mask.
We need to talk now. We have a big problem. Ever since you took this stupid mask off, you've fallen off. You're irrelevant, you have no money, no views, you're trash.
Fans can't help but wonder what's next for this enigmatic gamer. They didn't have to wonder for long. In 2023, a Discord conversation between two anonymous accounts was posted on Twitter by a burner account that allegedly exposed Dream's inappropriate behavior with minors. Dream would post a 1.5-hour-long video titled "The Truth," where he interviews several people involved in the controversies, provides screenshots of conversations and conversation logs with alleged victims. He also pointed out many inconsistencies that a few Twitter users had clocked onto. The video racked in more than 2 million views, and opinions remain split between support for him and his accusers.
I mean, with the he say, she say, like, it's complicated. But then again, like, I don't see why certain people would lie. But then again, I could see why. I mean, it's really just all about how they go about it. If they're just trying to get money out of him, that makes it look more suspicious, like they're just, using an interaction they had. But, a grown man that wears a smiley face mask and plays Minecraft, like, it kind of makes it hard to reason with him and to pick his side. But I guess we don't know, so just gotta wait till we find out, I guess. But it still just don't look good.
TanaCon. YouTuber and host of the popular podcast Cancelled, Tana Mongeau, is well known for her outrageous storytelling and candid personality. In June 2018, Tana Mongeau decided to go big with TanaCon, her bold alternative to VidCon. After feeling sidelined and unwelcomed at major conventions, she envisioned TanaCon as a festival that celebrated the rebel spirit of her followers, promising a fun and accessible experience for all her fans. But reality hit hard. Scheduled for June 22nd and 23rd, the same day as VidCon, which was being held just a few blocks away, TanaCon was a chaotic whirlwind from the get-go. With zero proper planning for capacity, the event was a recipe for disaster. 15,000 fans showed up to a venue that could only accommodate about 3,000. This left a massive crowd simmering outside in the scorching California sun. To make matters worse, there was no food or water provided, and reports of sunburns and fainting quickly surfaced. By the end of the first day, the event was canceled, leading to a frenzy of disappointed attendees shouting for refunds. The aftermath was a media storm, with sponsors and attendees taking to social media to vent their frustrations. The organization behind TanaCon, Good Times, faced serious backlash and scrambled to issue refunds to ticket holders, but the damage was already done. TanaCon quickly became a cautionary tale about the pitfalls of influencer-driven conventions. And yet, just 2 days after the fiasco, she was out partying. In classic Tana style, she jumped onto YouTube with a lengthy video apologizing to her fans and giving a tell-all of all that went on behind the scenes. Then, to add to the drama, Shane Dawson released a documentary series titled The Truth About TanaCon, diving deep into the fiasco from every angle. His documentary included Tana's claims that everything was on the up and up and that she had been assured the space could take everyone.
I was under the impression that that space was perfectly fine for 5,000 people.
Then a separate recording revealed that Tana actually knew the crowd size they would expect and the capacity the venue could handle.
But what is capacity?
The hotel told me 1,200, but obviously
in like the main ballroom. I have it set at 5,200 right now.
I love that for us.
I can also kind of just like set no capacity and then just be like, okay, we're gonna sell out when we sell it out.
In fact, she thought it'd be cool to have fans waiting outside. The documentary went on to snag a Streamy Award, and as for Tana, her reputation took a big hit, and she's still not recovered. Ned Fulmer. Once upon a time in the world of YouTube, Ned Fulmer was the charming wife guy on a beloved group known as the Try Guys, a YouTube channel that followed 4 men as they tried new things, from making food to challenging physical activities and even the odd mukbang challenge. Ned was especially known for his playful antics and his heartwarming relationship with his wife Ariel. Fans adored him for it. But then came the curveball that shook the internet, a cheating scandal that had everyone talking. In September 2022, Ned was caught up in a whirlwind of drama after some blurry photos surfaced of him with another woman. Well, it wasn't just any woman he was having his affair with. She was a Try Guys employee. And it wasn't a one-time fling, the relationship had been going on for months.
Ned is cheating! I'm calling it, Ned is cheating.
The news hit hard, especially since he had previously dished out advice on the importance of honesty in relationships. The Try Guys, who had spent a decade building their brand on friendship and trust, put out a video stating that they had cut ties with Ned.
Ned Fulmer is no longer working with the Try Guys.
On his part, Ned put out a since-deleted statement on Instagram admitting to cheating on his wife, but never quite taking any responsibility. And that didn't earn him any favors. After that, he basically disappeared from social media. Fast forward 3 years, and Ned stepped back into the spotlight with his new podcast, Rock Bottom. In the very first episode, he made a public apology.
I know that I represented myself as a kind of wife guy. You, as a viewer, I broke your trust.
And his very first guest was his now ex-wife, Ariel, and they went into details about the messy aftermath of the scandal and their journey toward healing.
So let me get this straight. Bro had everything going for him. He had a family, he had a good job. Bro threw his life away, disappeared, came back and said, all right, yeah, I'm going to make a podcast about how my life turned to crumbles. And then I'm going to interview my wife that I cheated on. Yeah, that's a terrible plot. Like, it's like really shocking that he even thought of this, but like this is his reality. Like, we just gotta let that sink in for a second. This is really what happened in his life, and he thought this was gonna be a good idea. I don't even know.
Do you forgive Ned? I mean, the answer is no. How can you forgive somebody for lying to you, for cheating on you? Forgiveness isn't the goal at this point. The fact that I can be around you and still have a good time, enjoy spending time with you and enjoy spending time with my kids, I think that's a win.
His new podcast is supposed to be about sharing stories of people who have overcome challenges after facing their own rock bottom moments, but most people think that he's just trying to make some money off his drama. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't point out that one of the top comments on the first episode of Rock Bottom is someone saying, "The mental relief I feel knowing that she hasn't stayed with him is enormous." I think that says it all. Level 3. Nikocado Avocado. Meet Nikocado Avocado, the YouTuber who took the mukbang scene by storm. He became known for his extravagant eating videos where he took on massive food challenges, entertaining his nearly 4 million subscribers with his larger-than-life persona. Nikocado, whose real name is Nicholas Perry, weighed 359 pounds and declared himself as the king of mukbangs. Despite the millions of views from people flocking to his page to watch him eat, his comment section was filled with people calling him sick, fat, and boring. By February 2022, his posts took a different turn, with hints that he was going on a weight loss journey. But just 3 months later, it became clear that his weight loss dreams had hit a snag.
You think we're put plop down on this earth to just starve and count calories and restrict carbs? I'm over it. It doesn't work. I keep trying. It doesn't work. I have accepted that I'm fat.
He also posted on TikTok that he had stopped trying to lose weight. He stopped posting videos only to shock fans with an unexpected twist 4 months later. In a video titled 2 Steps Ahead, another titled Hi, Nikocado revealed a jaw-dropping 250-pound weight loss. Wearing a panda mask to kick off the video, Nikocado shared how he had been pulling off an elaborate social experiment by strategically posting pre-recorded videos, all while secretly losing weight behind the scenes. He claimed that while fans pointed and laughed at his food consumption, he was in complete control the whole time, highlighting how easy it is for people to consume whatever the internet feeds them. Fans were left reeling. Many took to social media expressing disbelief and relief that Nikocado had managed to improve his health. Comments ranged from shock over his transformation to admiration for his ability to keep such a major change under wraps while maintaining the facade of his larger size. Yes, how could someone who made all the money that he made manage to do all that in secret? But despite his big comeback that ranked in 10 million views, Nikocado has only posted 2 more videos since.
Well, it's good that he got healthy, but, you know, there's a lot of irreversible damage he probably has now because of eating all that food. Because he wasn't just, like, casually eating bad stuff. Like, he was overeating bad stuff. So I can't even imagine what that did to his body. But, I mean, I don't know. This was some jigsaw type of stuff. Like, bro was just a step ahead of everybody. But still, like, I don't know. I feel like that was just a bad influence in general, making people watch him eat all that food. That's just disturbing, but I don't know.
Nas Daily. Nas Academy is the online learning platform that was created by popular content creator Nasir Yassin, better known as Nas Daily. The plan was to provide a variety of courses from the best minds around the world. The problem was how far he was willing to go to get them on board. It all began when Nas Academy announced they were offering a course on traditional tattooing taught by 104-year-old Wang Od, a legendary tattoo artist from the Philippines. But whatever good intentions they had were washed away when her grandniece, Grace Palikas, took to Facebook insisting it was a scam and that Wang Od had not fully understood what the translators were saying when she signed the contract. The online community was outraged by what appeared to be a mix of cultural appropriation and taking advantage of the vulnerable. I mean, good God, she's 104. Just leave her be. Nas stepped up to clear his name and release a statement on Facebook insisting that everything was above board. He also released a video showing Wang Od thumbprinting the alleged contract. What he didn't know was that the decision to share any knowledge with outsiders didn't come down to one person, but the entire tribe. And when the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples stepped in to investigate, they also agreed that the contract was null and void. Not only did Nas Academy have to take down the course, they also lost over 250,000 followers. Members of the team had also had to travel to the Philippines to meet with Wang Od and other tribal leaders and make a proper apology. After that, Nas was forced to stop Nas Academy's operation in the Philippines.
I mean, I can see what they were trying to do here, but I feel like they just went about it all wrong. You can't kind of just like infiltrate into a certain, what's the word for it? You can't just infiltrate in a certain place and then try to use their culture to benefit. I feel like that's just kind of wrong in many ways. But, you know, I'm glad that they apologized for everything, because this was pretty weird. But, and nah, it's just, some of these are more like you just watch and kind of just take everything in. Like, some of these get crazy, though. Like, the ones we were watching before are crazy. So, you know, trust me, we're about to get into this. But I appreciate the support, everyone watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for taking time out your day to watch the streams. It means a lot. And yeah, let's get into this whatever we're about to watch.
But Nas was not done in the spotlight yet. Around that time, he was making comments on the Israel-Palestine conflict, claiming he was lied to about Palestinian history his whole life. And these controversies quickly went viral, sparking anger across multiple communities online, and he was heavily criticized for downplaying Palestinian struggles. Belle Gibson. For a while, Australian influencer Belle Gibson was the darling of the Instagram wellness community. She had it all, a $500,000 empire built on a health and wellness app that was downloaded 200,000 times, and won Apple's Best Food and Drink App of the Year, a cookbook published by Penguin, and a massive following on Instagram. And it was all down to her sympathetic and inspiring story of a young mother who learned she had terminal brain cancer and 4 months to live.
Do you think you're dying?
Yeah.
You feel like you're dying?
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
4 years on, she had turned her back on hospital treatments and was healing her terminal brain cancer through a healthy diet, holistic apple cider vinegar remedies, and a generally healthy lifestyle. Belle's empire began to crumble in 2015 when she started praising her community for raising money for charities. She even boasted about donating about $300,000 to charity, money that never appeared. Investigative journalists later discovered that she had only given about $7,000, but this was only the beginning. It turns out her entire narrative was built on lies. She had never actually been diagnosed with cancer.
Yo, did she try to hit the Gypsy Rose method? Oh, nah, that's terrible. Yo. Bro, how do people do this? It's like, you can only get away with something like this for so long. You don't think there's going to be one person that looks into your story and realizes that you're lying? Like, there, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff they can look into, your medical records, just anyone that's around you, anybody that spends time with you, like, they're going to know about you. So one way or another, it's coming out. This has got to be like one of the worst schemes ever. I've seen so many people try to do this and they always fail, because it's just like, if you're lying, the truth is going to come out. So y'all let me know what you think about this one, because, well, we're going to get back into it. But
yes, you heard me right. In fact, she had a long history of making up illnesses.
2009 was a really bad year for you, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. You had 3 heart operations. You suffered 2 cardiac arrests. You died twice on the operating table. You had a stroke. And you were diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor.
yo, she's a soldier. If she survived, okay, I'm sorry, but if you actually go through all this stuff and you survive, like, you're just too locked in. Like, it's just not your time. But what? She did not try. Oh my god, she did not think this one through. You cannot. She went through everything. She was like, yeah, I got shot. I got ran over by a car. I got hit by a train, all in the same day, and I'm here. Like, what?
And given 4 months to live.
Correct.
Belle's carefully curated image shattered. She deleted her social media accounts and went offline, but that did little to stop the karma headed her way. Penguin pulled her book, Apple removed her app, and she faced legal consequences. There were even calls for her to get prison time. In the end, she was hit with several lawsuits and a $410,000 fine for misleading consumers. But it wasn't long before Belle was back at her old tricks again. The next time she made the news, she was claiming to be part of the Ethiopian Oromo community based in Melbourne and had adopted the name Sabontu.
My heart is deeply embedded in the Oromo people. I feel blessed to be adopted by you.
She claimed to be fundraising for them. The president of that community came forward insisting she was not a member or even a volunteer. She had shown up at 2 or 3 of their events and they assumed she'd come with someone. Whatever rebrand she had planned is dead on arrival, especially since she still owes a mountain of fines. Plus, there's no chance she's outrunning her past. The Netflix show Apple Cider Vinegar is based on her. It's a classic case of fake it till you make it gone wrong, and a reminder to always take the words of influencers with a pinch of salt and a shot of apple cider vinegar.
So you fake having cancer, you fake going into cardiac arrest, then you get caught stealing people's money for fake donations, and then you go, I'm gonna go take advantage of a tribe and fundraise for them and steal all the money. See, like like I just said, she didn't even learn from the first time. Like she said, oh no, like, you know, I'm with them, blah, blah, blah. And then the truth comes out. They're like, nah, we don't. She's come here like 2 or 3 times. Like, oh, these people need to lock in, bro.
Ace family downfall. The Ace family was the epitome of family goals on YouTube. Made up of Austin McBroom, Catherine Pies, and their 3 adorable kids, their YouTube channel captured hearts with their fun vlogs, pranks, and wholesome moments. Trouble began to brew after the widely discussed YouTubers versus TikTokers boxing event. Whispers surfaced about fighters who hadn't been paid and mismanagement of funds. Then there was NBA star James Harden, who allegedly invested in the event and was suing Austin to recover his losses. As if their financial woes weren't enough, the couple faced more scrutiny when rumors circulated that their lavish $12 million home had been foreclosed on. They again took to social media claiming it was a false narrative and they were moving to a bigger house, but no one was buying that. Then in January 2024, the couple announced that they were getting amicably divorced. Despite that, they continued to put out family content videos together. Then, a year later, in a dramatic turn of events, Catherine released a book where she spilled some serious tea about the real cause of the breakup of their marriage. It was an allegation that had been trailing Austin for years. Turns out Austin had been cheating with multiple women.
I gotta ask, every month there's cheating rumors about you going on. You never address it. Is there a reason why?
In response, Austin took to YouTube and released a video. He admitted that he had been cheating, but insisted that Catherine had known about it all along and played clips he felt backed up his story.
When it comes to me stepping out of my marriage, I did. I 100% stepped out of my marriage. It was completely wrong for me to do it. I take full accountability. If I can go back and change it, I would. And I'm sorry for that.
He even tried to paint Catherine as crazy.
See, that's the thing. I hate when people say, oh, if I could go back and do it, I would. But the thing is, like, you guys know as people, if you really care about something or someone, you are going to put your all into it. And you're not even going to, like, risk it. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't put it at risk if you didn't care about it. And that's just like, I don't know. This dude had it all. He had a family, had a successful YouTube channel, but he wanted to go throw it away for some girls that don't even care about him. Like, what? Like, lost the plot, man.
I would try harder to help her through the situation that she was going through. When she first came to me and told me that she wanted to do ayahuasca, the research I've done and the friends that told me about it have said it is a legal substance that can cause someone to hallucinate and have you believe something that is not true.
After that, Catherine went on to the Call Her Daddy podcast and went into even more details about what had been going on in their marriage and when she had found out Austin was stepping out.
I was pregnant when all of these things were going on. It did happen, and that's where I found out all the lies. So like that moment was a significant moment in my life. I'm just being blindsided over here. Like I had no idea. Like truly, like yeah, I've been seeing the rumors and you know, the narratives, but oh my gosh, like why can't you tell me? Like why don't you talk to me?
She also insisted she had never known he was cheating or given him the go-ahead. As of today, Austin now posts videos on a different YouTube channel, Austin McBroom Live, bringing an official end to the reign of the Ace family. Eugenia Cooney. Eugenia Cooney started her journey on YouTube way back in the early 2010s. She shared quirky fashion tips, fun vlogs, and a captivating emo aesthetic that drew in millions of fans. With her long, dark hair and unique style, she quickly became a beloved figure in the beauty and fashion community. But just as rapidly as she rose to fame, in 2015, she found herself at the center of controversy. Fans began to express worry over Eugenia's appearance. While her videos focused on lighthearted topics like cosplay and makeup tutorials, viewers couldn't help but notice her alarming weight loss. And even though she never explicitly promoted harmful ideals, critics insisted her appearance was glamorizing an unhealthy body image to her young audience who looked up to her as a role model. They even started online petitions to have her content taken down. It didn't help that she already had a well-documented history of health issues thanks to a 2019 Shane Dawson special. At the time, Eugenia had taken a break from social media to focus on recovery from her condition. Fast forward to May 2025, and things took a turn for the worse.
I'm not laughing at the video. I'm not laughing at the video. I'm laughing at what someone just said. Yo, he said, if she sneezed, it's over. My bad. My bad. Hold on. I need to lock it for a second. Oh my god. Alright, hold up. Let's get back into the video.
During a live stream, Eugenia appeared to be visibly distressed and gagging before she abruptly ended the podcast. Shortly after, 2 videos were posted to her account, but they turned out to be pre-recorded. One was even a year old. This only made her fans even more suspicious. And since then, speculation...
Hold on, I'm sorry. Oh, hold up. I gotta take a deep breath. That was bad. That was actually really bad. Alright, here we go. Bro, y'all gotta chill with that. That was... Alright.
About her well-being has only intensified. There have even been claims that she's passed away, which turned out to be hoaxes. But this only fueled more concern for her well-being, and her fans are haunted by the thought that no one knows what's become of her. Level 4. Sam Pepper controversial pranks. If there's one YouTuber who's known for controversial vlogs and outrageous pranks, it's Sam Pepper. His brand of entertainment saw him gaining popularity on YouTube in the early 2010s, but there's such a thing as going too far, and Sam learned this with his now infamous killing best friend prank. In this wildly controversial clip, Sam pretends to kidnap fellow Vine stars Sam Golbach and Colby Brock, but it quickly spiraled out of control. As Golbach pleaded for Brock's life, Sam pretended to shoot Brock as Golbach began to cry hysterically.
You got the wrong guy! No! He's everything I have!
Golbach's frantic screams and visible fear made it hard for viewers to tell if this was all just a joke or if something serious was happening. Now, Sam was no stranger to controversial content, but the backlash from this was on a whole other level. Thousands of people were outraged, signing petitions to get him kicked off YouTube. Even the hacktivist group Anonymous jumped in, calling for the video to be taken down.
Oh yeah, no, about the last clip, what's it called? No, that's true. That's weird that everyone was coming at her for like posting videos, because clearly, like, that's what I was thinking. Maybe she has like a medical issue or something, like she can't really help it, or she needs to like have frequent treatment in order to, you know, get back to where she needs to be. But the fact that everyone's coming at her and saying like, oh, like this is promoting something bad, like I could see why they would say that. But then again, it's like, it's something she's probably actively struggling with. It's not that she's trying to promote, be like, oh yeah, this is good. But yeah, no, it's just, I don't know. And this dude, I don't know what they got going on here. This is like, if this is a joke, this is a terrible one, because I don't know why you would even fake this. Like, and this other dude looks genuinely scared. Like, I don't know.
With all that pressure, Sam had to delete not just that video, but all of his other pranks too. He issued an apology trying to explain himself and say he was sorry for the distress the video caused, but by then his reputation had already taken a serious hit. Golbach later revealed that he had actually been in on the prank, but many believed he was either trying to cover up for Sam or embarrassed by his reaction. As for Sam, with petitions circulating calling for him to be banned from YouTube, sponsors and fellow YouTubers distanced themselves from him. J Station fakes girlfriend's death.
Yo, before we get into this one, this one is crazy. I've heard about this before. This dude posted a video a long time ago. I forget what it was. I seen it. It was like, okay, obviously it's not right because his audience is younger. But the thumbnail was so funny. He said like, I forget, he made a whole like storyline about how his like girlfriend had like passed away and he was talking to her in the afterlife. But if you just look at the videos, they're clearly fake. But he has a younger audience, which is why it's like really weird. But this dude would do anything for views and content. It's actually like, it's insanity.
Jason Ethier, better known as I'm J Station, was the king of outrageous content, pulling stunts that made viewers either laugh or gasp in disbelief. He kicked off his YouTube career in 2015, gaining traction with his crazy challenges. Think breaking into empty homes and filming himself for 24 hours, or using a Ouija board to contact dead celebrities. His antics caught the attention of millions, and before long he had around 5.5 million subscribers, but using notoriety to get fame has its price, and Jason was about to pay it dearly. In early 2020, Jason decided to up the ante. He announced to his followers that his girlfriend and YouTuber Alexia Morano had lost her life in a car accident involving a drunk driver. He went on to film himself visiting her memorial and would later attempt to contact her spirit using a Ouija board. Yes, you heard that right. He was trying to chat with his dead girlfriend at 3 a.m.
Bro, I told you, this dude is crazy. Yo, faking that your girlfriend died and then going to talk to her with a Ouija board is next level terrible. Like, why would you ever do that? It's like, even if it's not true, it's just like, that puts so much bad energy into the air. Oh my gosh, bro.
Not exactly the typical actions of a grieving boyfriend, and viewers were convinced they had smelled a rat. Suspicions grew, and it wasn't long before people started questioning the authenticity of his claims. Imagine. Jason finally confessed that the whole thing was a hoax. Not only was Alexia alive and well, but the two were working together to gain more subscribers. If no one had caught on, they intended for the finale of this prank to be Jay bringing Alexia back to life. The online community was outraged, and YouTube decided it was time to step in. They confirmed that they had demonetized Jason's channel. Jay tried to win his fans back and released a 12-minute video titled Goodbye, where he apologized for his actions. But just when you thought it was over, Jason and Alexia made a brief return to YouTube with a joint channel called Dream Team. However, that dream didn't last very long either. After the split, Jason rebranded his channel to 666 and continued churning out content, but by then, YouTube and his fans had had enough. Both of his channels were eventually removed from YouTube. Shane Dawson, problematic past resurfaces. In the ever-changing landscape of YouTube, few names have sparked as much conversation as Shane Dawson. He joined YouTube back in 2005 and just might be the only YouTuber whose name shows up in the Urban Dictionary, and it's not for a good reason. But long before then, he was celebrated as a pioneer and a creative genius. His YouTube channel had more than 20 million subscribers, he had released 2 New York Times bestsellers, and he had worked on several docuseries with some very popular YouTubers. It seemed like his fame would only grow. But in 2020, Shane's past reared its ugly head. Videos he'd made in his early days resurfaced, revealing skits where Shane put on blackface, used the N-word, repeated gay slurs, and made the most inappropriate comments about his underage fans who had gotten his merch. That's not even the worst of it. One time he went on Omegle and asked a minor to twerk. Then there was the clip where he urged a friend to have a sex talk with a 12-year-old girl, and even got her to simulate the act. Good lord. He made
It just keeps getting worse. It literally just kept getting worse. Like, my ears were not prepared for whatever was about to come out of this dude's mouth. What? It just kept... He was just like, how could I make my life worse? Oh my gosh, bro. But yeah, thank you guys again, everybody in the live. Hope you guys are having a good day. Let's get back into it. Unfortunately, we're going to get back into this story.
Bizarre scenarios about underage kids, and who can forget when he compared preying on kids to foot fetishes, or when he described a 5-year-old's Instagram page as sexy. Not exactly the kind of person and
What? What did he just say? Oh, nah, bro. What, bro? What? Did we all just hear that? Oh my God.
anyone should leave around kids. But underage girls weren't the only ones that weren't safe around Shane. He also seemed to have a sick, twisted thing for his animals. He even fed some right from his mouth, baby bird style, and tried to get his...
What? Yo, no. Bro, what? Yo, I'm sorry for pausing so much. I'm just going through a lot of emotional disturbance watching this. Oh my, yo, it's gonna get worse. I already know it.
Friends in on his sick game. Now, this might look like the kind of shock factor YouTubers were going for to draw attention on their channel, but this was not a one-time thing. In one episode of his podcast, Shane and Friends, Shane went into details about one of the sick things he'd done to one of his cats. With all the clips rolling out, Shane was public enemy number one. He posted a 20-minute apology video titled Taking Accountability, but before that video had even made its rounds on YouTube, another video of his resurfaced the very next day. In the clip, Shane was pretending to jack off to a poster of Willow Smith, who was just 11 at the time.
What? Bro, send him to jail. What is this dude? Bro, what? Bro, oh my, yo, this is so bad. This is so, like, bad isn't even the word to describe it, bro. Put him in a cell, lock that thing up, throw that key away. Huh? Oh my, yo, this is, yo, he need, oh my gosh, I'm just at a loss for words, bro.
The backlash was brutal. YouTube demonetized his videos and he lost thousands of followers. His books were also pulled from shelves and Target. He ended up going on a long hiatus and returned to YouTube in 2020, but it was a flop. Shane posted his last video in June 2020 and hasn't made any updates since. Too bad. He probably could have gotten a lot of views if he had done one of his little YouTuber hit pieces on himself. The Micah Stauffer Family Scandal. The Stauffer Life was a YouTube channel run by married couple Micah and James Stauffer. They gained a huge following sharing their parenting journey and their experiences with adopting their autistic son Huxley from China. Throughout the adoption process, they shared updates and assured many that they were prepared to deal with any issues he came with. When Huxley arrived, he became the star of the show. Viewers tended to engage more with videos about him, and the Stoffers noticed. They made sure to create a playlist of Huxley's adoption story. As Huxley grew, viewers began to notice that the Stoffers didn't have a clue how to handle Huxley's unique needs. Fast forward to 2019, when Micah had their fourth biological child, and that's when things changed on the Stoffer life. Suddenly, Huxley, who had appeared almost daily on their channel for 3 years, wasn't appearing in their videos as much, but they gave excuses for that. When viewers made comments about it, those comments would suspiciously vanish. By 2020, Huxley wasn't appearing in their videos at all, and when they mentioned him, it was to complain about the cost of raising him or how his disorder was affecting them. Online sleuths went digging only to find more concerning signs. The playlist of videos related to Huxley had been put on private, and on James's car-themed channel, Stoffer Garage, they quickly noticed that Huxley's car seat was gone. Finally, the Stoffers released a video that would send shockwaves through the YouTube community. They admitted they had rehomed Huxley because they believed he needed more medical assistance than they could manage. Micah went to great lengths to paint the image of a grieving mother, but their viewers didn't buy any of their claims of love and care, especially since it was in stark contrast to what the two had been saying just 3 years earlier. They were convinced the Stoffers had used Huxley for monetary gain and to grow their channel. After all, the Stoffers had profited from their adoption journey, raising funds through sponsorships, donations, and merchandise, all while presenting a polished image of family life. But deep down, they must have known they had not adequately prepared for the challenges of raising a child with significant needs, but they just didn't care. To make things worse, just after getting rid of Huxley, the family up and went to Bali on a month-long luxury vacation. Many were concerned that they were lying and law enforcement had to conduct a welfare check on Huxley. Following the backlash, Micah issued an apology on Instagram, but the damage was done, and their YouTube channel effectively vanished along with their public presence.
Did every YouTuber back in the day do that? They would literally do the most insane thing. Like this dude, like the last dude, I don't even know. His is too far gone. But like a lot of these people will do the most outrageous thing and then they'll just post an apology video thinking that everything's gonna be alright. Like, you know what I mean? Like, imagine somebody hits you with their car, right? And then you just see a video the next day. Like they're getting a bunch of backlash and they're just like, oh, I'm so sorry. I know I hit you with my car, but I'm sorry though, so it's okay, right? No, you hit me with your car. You know, like they just think a YouTube video that's 10 minutes long of them fake crying is gonna fix everything. Yeah, no.
Cody Co. Cody Co, aka Cody Michael Kujazik, is a popular YouTuber known for his comedic commentary on the That's Cringe series and the Tiny Meat Gang podcast. He had more than 5 million followers and was known for commenting on online drama. But by May 2024, he found himself facing some drama of his own when fellow influencer and YouTube Tana Mongeau claimed that she had been intimate with Cody when she was underage. It had started out in the most random way. Tana, who hosted the popular podcast Cancelled, had been on stage making jokes when she unintentionally revealed that she and Cody had been intimate in Florida when she was just 17. After she let it slip, the media circus took over. Online sleuths quickly worked out that Cody would have been between 25 and 26 at the time of their encounter, which meant that according to Florida law, Cody could get jail time for statutory rape. Surprisingly, many YouTube channels that are usually quick to pick up on these kinds of allegations stayed quiet. They didn't even pick it up when Tana recounted their encounter in a much calmer setting. Maybe it was because Tana was such a controversial figure, but the only big YouTube channel who talked about it was D'Angelo Wallace. Meanwhile, the man of the hour, Cody Co himself, effectively hit pause on his main channel and went quiet. It wasn't till the next month when Rolling Stone magazine picked up on the story that more YouTubers started talking about it. Online sleuths were able to verify her story from YouTuber Gabby Hanna, who hinted at it in a podcast back in 2021. Meanwhile, Cody's silence spoke volumes, especially for someone who called out similar behavior all the time. He lost over 250,000 subscribers in the first month alone. Brands and collaborators dropped him like a hot potato. The only sign that he knew what was going on was a statement put out by his podcast network, Tiny Meat Gang, stating that Cody would be stepping down from day-to-day operations at the studio. And many felt they only did this to keep the checks rolling in. It took 6 months for Cody's silence to break. In a 21-minute video that he released on a side channel that had a much smaller audience, he first talked about a marathon he was preparing for before rambling on about understanding why opinions on him might have changed. And while he never came out and said he did it, he never denied it either. At first glance, his comment section seemed largely positive until those who made negative comments on the video or mentioned Tana noticed that Cody was deleting them. He has resumed posting on YouTube, but only uses the smaller channel that doesn't draw big viewer numbers. Level 5. Michaela Rilarsdom. The Michaela Rilarsdom scandal is one wild ride through the world of adult content, BDSM, and a hefty price tag. 31-year-old Michaela Rilarsdom is a wife, mother of 3, and OnlyFans model. She ran her page with her husband, but has never engaged in BDSM. Then there was Michael Dale, a 55-year-old with a taste for the extreme, who paid Michaela a whopping $11,000 to fulfill his desires. What did that entail? Well, it involved some mummy wrapping with saran wrap, duct tape, and even gluing boots to his feet. Yep, you heard that right. However, things escalated quickly and the fun went from naughty to nightmarish. During the session, Michael's head was wrapped in plastic and he had duct tape secured around his mouth when he began struggling for breath. His hands and legs were also bound, making it impossible for him to tear off the plastic. And as he struggled for breath, Michaela was just inches away making content for her OnlyFans page. 8 minutes would pass before she noticed something was wrong and called 911. Police arrived to find her performing CPR on him, but it was too late. Michael was transported to the hospital where he was declared brain dead. Days later, he was removed from life support. The medical examiner listed his cause of death as lack of oxygen to the brain, and Michaela was charged with second-degree murder. She has pleaded not guilty, and her defense is that she had no intention to harm Michael and that all activities were consensual. However, the court documents reveal that the setup was riskier than anyone anticipated. As she awaits trial, Michaela remains behind bars, and her case has become a hot topic across social media. So, the next time you think about diving into the world of kink for cash, remember Michaela's tale. Sometimes a line between pleasure and peril is closer than you think.
Okay, but like paying this girl $11,000 to wrap you up to the point where you can't breathe, like I feel like it's pretty common knowledge that if you wrap your face up, you cannot breathe. I mean, it's kind of like the most common sense type of thing. So I feel like he had this coming. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, if you play dumb games, you're going to get dumb prizes. That's just how it is. Obviously, this is a very sad thing. But this whole situation is just weird. Like, it's just strange. You know what I mean? And especially, like, if you know you have a chance of suffocating, why would you have the rest of your body taped up? I don't even know. I'm not even going to try to understand this because this is for Diddy, bro. This is just for Diddy. I want to be back on the next one.
Austin Jones. Austin Jones was once a beloved YouTube musician celebrated for his incredible a cappella covers of hits like Fall Out Boy's Sugar, We're Going Down, and Justin Bieber's Sorry. By 2014, he had built quite the fan base, racking up 534,000 subscribers and over 41 million views on YouTube. Things were looking bright for this rising star. He even got a spot to perform at the Vans Warped Tour in 2015. But things took a turn that May when a concerned 15-year-old girl launched a Change.org petition to have him removed from the tour lineup. According to her, Austin had been asking girls as young as 13 to send him twerking videos. Over 9,000 people signed the petition, not quite the 10,000 that was needed, and yet Austin decided to step back from the tour anyway. Was he just being respectful to his fans, or was there something more bubbling under the surface? Fans' questions were answered when Austin posted a video on his channel. He admitted that while he had asked for twerking clips, there were no nude videos involved. A spoiler alert, this turned out to be untrue. In June 2017, Homeland Security investigators executed a search warrant on Austin. The investigation revealed some shocking chats with a 14-year-old fan where he encouraged her to prove her fandom by dancing nude for him. Disturbingly, he even had her repeat her actual age while performing.
What? Bro, oh no, what? Do you know, like, I think people don't know there's other hobbies. Like, there's things you can do on this earth that are normal. Like, you can walk outside. You can go to the gym. You can, I don't even know. You can go get some food. You can, there's just so much better stuff you can do. Like, it just keeps getting worse. Like, oh my gosh, these are like the Diddy disciples. There are so many of them. It's not even funny. Like, they're gathering the Avengers at this point. Yo, all right, bro. All right, we're gonna, finish this story. But I'm kind of like, I don't know how much more emotional damage I could take from this. But, let's jump back into it. Just be ready.
She sent him a total of 15 videos. In 10 of them, she had no clothes on. Unfortunately, she wasn't his only victim. Austin had contacted about 30 other girls, all between the ages of 14 and 15, asking them for explicit photos and videos throughout platforms like Facebook and iMessage. He even specified what they should wear and how they should pose. Austin pled guilty to charges and was sentenced to 11 years in prison, where he remains today. Meanwhile, his YouTube channel has been demonetized, marking a dramatic fall from grace for a once promising artist. Level 6. Kat Torres. Kat Torres, born Katusha Torres Soares, was a Brazilian influencer. She first gained fame as a model, gracing the covers of magazines and even mingling with Hollywood A-listers like Leonardo DiCaprio. Her stunning looks and wellness advice earned her a devoted following of women who wanted to be just like her. It helped that it seemed like the one-in-a-million success story of moving from the tough streets of a Brazilian favela to the international catwalks. But beneath that sparkling exterior lay a much darker narrative. In 2022, two young Brazilian women, Desiree Freitas and Leticia Mia, were reported missing. They had left to work with Kat in the US and their families hadn't heard from them in months. There were concerns that something terrible had happened to them and the FBI began searching for them. That's when they found pictures of the two women on escort and prostitution websites. This only raised more concerns that they had been trafficked. By then, Desiree and Leticia put out an Instagram video denying that they were being held and asking for the search to be called off. But the authorities were not convinced that the two women were not in danger. They could have been forced to make the videos. One time, they FaceTimed Kat to speak to the women, and the threat she made before putting them on the phone made it clear that the women needed to be rescued. Eventually, the police convinced Kat to bring the two women into a police station, and their worst fears were confirmed. The women were being trafficked. Under the carefully cultivated image of a wellness guru, Kat targeted her most devoted followers, invited them to live with her so she could help them achieve their dreams of love, money, and self-esteem. Once they were in the US, she would slowly manipulate and exploit them. Many of them ended up being pressured into working at strip clubs and even forced into prostitution. All of the money was turned over to Kat, leaving them with very few options other than depending on her. The manipulation was so good that even when they went into the police station, the women refused to speak without Kat's permission. In July of 2024, justice finally caught up with Kat. She was found guilty of trafficking and exploiting vulnerable women, and she was sentenced to 8 years in prison.
Only 8 years? Like, I feel like they could have at least hit her with the 16 years, because like it's one thing to, you know, hold people against their will. Or not against their will, to manipulate people into like thinking that they're gonna get a new type of life, but then extorting them for your own benefit and making them do some disgusting things for that is like, you know what I'm saying? That's life altering. Like, their lives are never going to be the same after this. So I don't think 8 years is justice, I'm not gonna lie. But, you know, obviously her reputation is ruined. Hopefully, if anybody trusts this woman after this, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. It's just, it's all here, so.
For this former model, orange really became the new black. Love the new look, Kat. Hope it sticks. Justin Guzman. Justin Guzman, a 22-year-old TikTok influencer, found himself on the wrong side of the law following a fatal shooting in the parking lot of a mall. Up until then, Guzman's only claim to fame were the cringy lip-sync videos he shared on TikTok. But all that changed on the night of June 3rd, 2025. Guzman had been at the mall with his friend Marco Sinan. While they were in the elevator, they insulted Marine veteran Anthony Sanders' fiancée. Now, we all know how protective partners can be, and Sanders was no exception. He confronted Guzman and the two exchanged words. After the verbal spat, Sanders returned to his vehicle and tried to drive away with his fiancée and their 10-month-old son, but Guzman had other plans. He brake-checked Sanders and even put his car in reverse to rear-end him. Little did he know, he was creating a recipe for disaster. When Sanders stepped out of his car to confront them, Guzman and Sinan proceeded to fatally shoot at the Marine vet 10 times right in front of his fiancée and child still in the car. Then they fled the scene. Within a week, both Guzman and Sinan were behind bars. By then, Guzman had come up with a story. He claimed he had fired in self-defense because he had seen Sanders approaching with a knife. There was one big problem with his version of events. There was no weapon found at the scene or on Sanders. A video that Guzman had posted on TikTok after the shooting made the story even more chilling. In the video, he was dancing in front of a TV news segment that was covering the incident. Guzman's antics got his TikTok page suspended, and he's currently being held on a $750,000 bond as he faces a murder charge.
So they antagonize this dude. They take his life. And what do? Do they feel remorse? No, they make a TikTok. Like, and not only does this not make sense, his TikTok got banned. So it's like everything he just did that for is gone anyway. So now his life is gone. That dude's life is gone. And his TikTok is gone. So like, what was this for? Hey man, I don't know, bro. This is just some low IQ activities.
Ruby Frank. Ruby Frank was a former mommy vlogger who became known for her YouTube channel, 8 Passengers. It was a family-oriented channel that was launched in 2015 and captured the hearts of millions. The channel chronicled the daily lives of Ruby, her husband Kevin, and their 6 children. With over 2 million subscribers, Ruby became a prominent figure in the family vlogging community, sharing everything from parenting tips to family outings. But as Ruby's popularity grew, so did concerns about her parenting methods. Viewers began to notice troubling patterns in her disciplinary techniques, including harsh punishments such as withholding food and sending a child to sleep on a beanbag chair for months. In one infamous incident, Ruby refused to bring food to her daughter at school after the child forgot her lunch, suggesting that children should learn from their mistakes. She also had no issues body-shaming her daughters, and her solution for one of the children bedwetting was like something straight out of a horror movie. By 2020, viewers were so concerned with how she treated the children that they started a Change.org petition calling for an investigation into her parenting. Ruby ended up getting a visit from Child Protective Services, but they didn't find any evidence of abuse, and the case was closed. However, viewers remain certain that Ruby was abusing her children, but but they had no idea just how right they were. On August 30th, 2023, a 911 call came in about a young boy who had shown up on someone's property. When the police showed up, they met Ruby Frank's 12-year-old son in a pitiable condition. The boy had escaped from the home of his mother's business partner, Jody Hildebrandt, and the police went over. But instead of finding a mother worried about the whereabouts of her child, Ruby's main concern was calling her lawyer. After a quick search of the house, they found her 9-year-old daughter. She was also malnourished and had been locked in a closet. It took over 2 hours of gentle coaxing before she finally agreed to come out. As the officers continued their search, they uncovered a horrifying pattern of abuse against Ruby's children, including confinement and starvation. Following Ruby's arrest, her estranged daughter Shari spoke out against her, sharing her own experiences of abuse. Both Ruby and Jody ended up facing 6 counts of aggravated child endangerment with a sentence of up to 30 years in prison. It was a dramatic fall from grace for Ruby, who went from sharing her family life online to ending up behind bars for what she did behind closed doors. Level 6.
This is just sick all around. Like, I don't know how you can bring children into this world, use them to garner a fan base and make money, and then torture them and make their lives miserable. Like, they had some sort of show about this or something like that. I seen that, and this didn't even cover the half of like the bad details. Like, it was a lot worse than this. Like, it was a lot worse. And it's just like, they went through this for years and years and years and years. But I'm glad she got caught, because you can't be doing this. This is like, I don't even know. It's too much to even like try to comprehend at one time. But yeah.
7. Courtney Clenny. Courtney Clenny was an OnlyFans model and Instagram star who went by Courtney Taylor online. She and her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli, live in a penthouse of a Miami apartment. The two had a turbulent relationship that neighbors would often hear through the walls. Objects were often thrown during fights, and sometimes it even spilled out of their apartments. In fact, their fights had gotten so bad that the building was preparing to evict them. But nobody could have imagined how those fights would end. On April 3rd, 2022, Clenny and Obumseli got into another one of their heated arguments in their apartment. What exactly caused it remains murky, but it ended with Obumseli stabbed to death. Clenny admitted to the stabbing, but insisted that it was in self-defense. She said Obumseli had pushed her and thrown her to the floor, and in fear she had grabbed a knife and thrown it at him where he stood 10 feet away. But her version of events didn't match up with the evidence. According to the autopsy, he had died from a forceful downward thrust, which means he had to be on the ground when she attacked him. There was no way the knife would have made such an injury after being thrown from 10 feet away. In fact, prosecutors were convinced that Obumseli, not Clenny, was the victim of domestic violence in their relationship. But one neighbor saw something different going on. That wasn't the only curveball in this case. At one point, her parents were arrested for hacking into Obumseli's laptop, which they never turned over to his family. But the charges against them were later dropped. As of today, Clenny remains behind bars as her case makes its way through the court. Mahek Bukhari.
I mean, this situation is still ongoing, so who knows what's the case. But the fact that her story is already inconsistent kind of shows you that she's lying, because this is a knife, not a tomahawk, so for one. And obviously the people that are investigating this are going to realize how the situation went down, so lying about it just makes it seem like you're guilty. And from what I've seen from the footage, it looked like he was the victim in the situation from what they showed. But until the story comes out, I guess we'll never know. But yeah, I don't know. These girls be crazy, man. I mean, guys too, but in this situation, these girls be crazy, man.
With about 128,000 followers, Mahek Bukhari was a TikTok influencer who spent her time posting on beauty, lifestyle, and fashion. Occasionally, her 46-year-old mother, Ansreen, made an appearance, but you know what they say about social media. No one really knows what's going on behind the screen. And what was going on was that Ansreen had secretly been in a relationship with a younger man, Saqib Hussein, for years. Saqib fell in love and spent thousands wooing her, but she had no intention of leaving her husband. This went on for 2 years, then Saqib became frustrated and obsessive. At one point, Ansreen stopped taking his calls, so he decided to do something that would get her attention. He threatened to send explicit pictures he had of her to her husband and son. Mahik and Ansreen offered to pay him a tidy sum of £3,000 to delete the picture, but they were still worried that there was no way to know if he had deleted the photos once they handed over the money. That's when Mahik came up with another plan. They would lure Saqib to a location and have friends beat him up and force him to hand over the phone. Saqib had no idea what was waiting for him when he and his childhood friend Mohammed Hashim Ijazuddin drove over to meet the two women at the Tesco parking lot on the night of February 11th, 2022. But soon after they drove in, they left the parking lot with 2 cars in hot pursuit. Shortly after, Saqib would call the police and report that he was being followed by masked men. The chilling recording captured a scream and a crash. His car had been forced off the road and smashed into a tree, and both men died instantly. Mahik and Ansreen were found guilty of double murder and will now spend the next few decades of their lives behind bars. Trey Sessler. Back in the early days of YouTube, September 2006, a guy named Eric Sessler launched 2 channels, Lenscap Productions and Mr. Anime. He was one of the pioneers of anime reviews online, and before long, he became popular in the anime community. But Eric didn't just stick to anime. He dipped into film and game reviews, threw in some comedy skits, and even roped in his family. His dad, mom, and especially his brother Mark, who he called his best friend, popped up in videos, making it all feel wholesome. Then, around 2010, the content took a turn. Suddenly, anime reviews were sharing space with guns. Eric posted photos posing with firearms, even uploaded a video of himself shooting bottles. He also dabbled in tutorials, not your average how-to videos, but ones showing fake stabbing and headshot wounds. Harmless cosplay fun? At least, that's what it looked like. But behind the camera lens, things were far darker. Eric was secretly using his pets for target practice, then lying to his parents, saying they'd been hit by cars. On top of that, he began studying and literally grading serial killers and mass shooters. He became fixated on Columbine, even uploading content about mass shootings. The quirky anime reviewer was slowly morphing into something much more chilling. In March 2018, Eric dropped a video titled, "Mr. Anime is Planning Something." Fans thought he was teasing a dream opportunity in the film industry. Big news, big break, right? Wrong. On March 12, 2012, everything unraveled. Eric ended the lives of his mother, father, and brother, the same people who had once laughed with him on camera. Afterward, he scrawled messages across the walls of their home. "Why did I do this? I love my mom, dad, and brother. God forgive me because I cannot forgive myself." Then he geared up for phase 2. With a rifle and 100 rounds of ammo, Eric set out for Waller High School, his old stomping grounds, where he planned to take the lives of about 70 students. But when the time came, he couldn't go through with it. Later that night, police caught him at a friend's house. His reason for taking his family's lives was not because he hated them, but so they wouldn't have to live with the shame of his planned school shooting, the one he ultimately failed to carry out. And that's how Mr. Anime's story ends. Not with more reviews or comedy skits, but with a life sentence behind bars, surrounded by the same kind of killers he once studied and admired.
Bro. Damn. Like, there, I don't even know. I'm at a loss for words. This is just disturbing. Like, do you know how deranged you have to be to take out your own family? And a lot of people could say, like, a lot of people could say, oh, you know, there wasn't really a lot of signs. Like, just look at the stuff he did. He was hurting his own pets. He was ranking shooters. He was just clearly evolving over the times to become something dangerous. And it's just crazy that he wasn't looked into any sooner. I mean, this was a long time ago, so I'm not really too surprised they didn't look into this. But I feel like nowadays it's more of a prevalent issue, so they do kind of take it more seriously when someone starts doing this kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. This whole video, this was just some of the most disturbing stuff I've heard, seen from people that are literally influencers. This is the darkest stuff influencers have done on the internet. And yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. It's gonna be a long day today, trying to get through this. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. This video is gonna be up a little bit later. I got a video dropping tonight, so I appreciate everyone that was watching the stream. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your favorite part of the video. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day. Stay safe, stay blessed, and you know, I'll catch you guys either tomorrow or the day after. But yeah.